The first thing I tell somebody is to have self-confidence, have belief in themselves. If you can't run, walk, if you can't walk, crawl, but keep on moving. I always say them to have that belief in themselves, have that self-confidence that no matter what, they're going to get a job. You don't fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So I always tell clients, be yourself, no matter what.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hi and welcome to the My Future Business Show. It's Rick Nusky. I am the host of the show. I love what I do because I get to speak with some amazing people. And on today's call, I have with me Ernest Anabalele. He is a best-selling author of Interview Preparation and Success Tips and Effective Interview Tips. How are you, Ernest?
Not too bad. It's a pleasure being on your show.
Yeah, look, absolutely my pleasure. We've had a few bumps getting in contact with each other because of the time difference, but we did make it. Now, how was it that you came to be an author, in fact, a best-selling author? How did this all come about for you?
What I did in the first place was to make sure that the book I'm writing is tailored to job applicants who are in need of getting their dream job. Because the way I categorize the book is to make sure that any job applicant that goes through the book is like a blueprint, enable them to be successful at their job interviews. And I was surprised by the number of reviews I had when I first published the book. And in no distant time, the book became a best-selling book.
In terms of preparing for an interview, what is the first thing that you tell somebody?
The first thing I tell somebody is to have self-confidence, have belief in themselves. So in the words of Martin Luther King, he said, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but keep on moving. I always say them to have that belief in themselves, have that self-confidence that no matter what, they're going to get a job, which is quite helpful to the job applicants I've come across.
If you're preparing to go into an interview, is it a good idea to have a checklist, or how do you prepare somebody to get ready for an interview?
The way I go about it is this. First of all, I look at the job description of the post the candidate is applying for. So from that job description, I'm able to bring out some competency skills. They may likely ask the candidate during the interview. So on the next step is to prepare the candidate. For instance, your mode of direction, how you answer the questions. The most basic question is tell me about yourself. I want to see how the client can answer that question. I want to see their passion. I want to see their enthusiasm. I want to see how confident they are in selling themselves during the interview.
Is this something that anybody can learn to get good at, do you think?
You can learn it, but interview depends on the interview scenario they come across. So some interviews could be one-to-one, could be video, could be Skype. So if most clients are not conversant with that kind of scenario, it becomes difficult for them to sell themselves during interview and prepare. You don't fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So I always tell clients, be yourself, no matter what, be yourself. Believe in yourself, be positive.
Is there a difference between, setting up yourself for a video interview as opposed to a in-person interview? Is the preparation different at all?
They are quite different because for the video interview, they look at your body language, your eye contact. So how you answer the questions, they look at your presentation. But for the face-to-face, one-to-one, you have a group of panel that are trying to ask you questions based on the job you're applying for. So that one entails more work than the video interview.
So I'm a new person and I'm looking to get my first job. I know I'm really, really nervous before going into this particular interview. What would you say to me in terms of being inexperienced? Do I focus on my breathing? Do I focus on my posture? What's important?
Focus on your posture, your body language, your eye contact. Are you able to deliver your answers to the panel? So if you don't have a good self-confidence, you don't believe in yourself, the chance of you getting that job is very slim. So always build on your self-confidence.
Given that the market in most industry sectors nowadays is quite busy and lots of people trying to apply for the same job, Is it something that you need to apply for multiple jobs, or do you think it's important just to focus on your ideal job?
It's very crucial for you to focus on your ideal job. The job you think you are capable of doing. The next step is to prepare. How you going to prepare? The only way to prepare for that job post is to do enough research, have enough research about the company.
Now, with regard to the actual CV, does your books talk about creating that, your CV document to take to the interview?
Absolutely, one of my books, I have 4 books in total now I've written. One of my books emphasizes on CV, what to include on your CV, the do's and don'ts of CV. Like, for instance, your profile, talk about your skills and achievement, your employment history, your work history. But like I always tell clients, that CV you have, you go through your CV before the job interview, because whoever is interviewing, you might have a copy of your CV or personal statement. So they will go through that CV and look at your profile, look at your work history, look at your employment history. Always ensure that there's no gap in your CV. If there's a gap in your CV, that looks questionable. So you have to explain why there's a gap in your CV. So clients I've come across, I always tell them to look at those areas of your CV.
And they seem like some really practical pieces of advice there, Ernest. Now, is it something that you should get help with if you're not very experienced in writing a CV?
If you're not very good at writing CV, give it to a career specialist, a career expert who can help to draft that CV tailored to the job you're applying for. Because most candidates, most companies, then they don't have time to look at 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. They just look at the profile and achievements. And if it's lengthy enough, it might be too boring. So it's always advisable to make it 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah, absolutely. This is some sage advice for those who are listening into the show today. Ernest, I wonder, with regard to the CV, what sort of information should you leave out of your CV?
The sort of information you should leave in your CV is not including your salary, your wages, how much you were being paid in your previous company or organization. So what requires on your CV is to have a good profile, your work history, as long as there's no gap, your employment history, your skills and achievement, and your interests, your last place of work, and why you move to another new job. So you must have to find a concrete answer to give to the interviewer.
You mentioned that you have 4 books that you've authored. Can you share a little bit about the other 2 with us?
Okay, the first one was How to Be Successful at Interview.
Yep.
That one came out in August 2018. The next one came out December, Interview Preparation and Success Stage, which was a best-selling book. The next one that came out was Effective Standout from Job Interview to Land the Job of Your Dreams. That one came out in March. That one was also a best-selling book. Then Effective Interview Tips. That one came out too, and that was a best-selling book. So those 4 books had different content, different ideas, but all geared towards acing job interviews, whatever job interview scenarios.
Does your books have like a test questionnaire sort of thing? Like if I was at home and I wanted my partner to give me a test interview, are your books good for that?
Absolutely, my books are good for that, yes. Because in my books, they have likely questions to expect. We have to answer the questions, talk about your body language and the way you present yourself. So 4 of my books I've mentioned earlier, they are quite good for any job interview scenario.
Are you currently working on any other books at the moment?
Presently, I'm writing my next book now, which will be out in a couple of months' time, a month or 2 months' time.
Fantastic. I was looking at your CV and some images of you going to live events. How important are live events to attend, do you think?
The live event is very crucial because during a live event, you're able to tell people that you're an expert in that field. Like, for instance, I'm an expert in interview coaching. People will now listen to you. Okay, they need support, they need guidance. How can you help them? First of all, you have to let them know how to build their confidence. Because in the words of Albert Einstein, he said, imagination is everything. It's a preview to life coming attraction. So you have to believe in yourself. Imagine that no matter the odds, you're going to be successful. So live event is very crucial.
Where did this all come from? Where was it? Where were you, and what were you doing when you realized that you wanted to be a specialist in this area?
Some years back ago, I was having a student session seminar with some students. One of my colleagues said, Ernest, you have a gift in you about interview coaching. Why don't you go about this gift you have? That one prepared me, energized me. So I started building up my CV. I'm going for seminars about interview. Then I had some clients who were requesting to be coached for interview. And one of my clients then got a job. He said, Mr. Ernest, you're very good at interview coaching. Make me to be more comfortable during interview. So that one energized me to have more interview career sections with clients. And like I said recently, based on requests of my clients I've met across who have gone to various job interviews, they said, oh, Mr. Ernest, we need a book about interview. So that's what propelled me to write those 4 books.
It's a wonderful story. I think about the clients that you've worked with in the past. What are some of the most common questions that you get asked?
The most common question is, tell me about yourself. This is what we call traditional interview questions. They don't expect you to talk about your life history. They want to know about your skills and achievements, how your skills and achievements match the job post you are applying for. But most candidates don't know how to answer that questions. So I always tell them, make it brief, talk about your skills, achievements, how you think your job description or how you think you are capable of doing the job assigned to you. That's one of the key questions normally asked during interviews. Or the next other question could be a situation, what they call competency interview questions. You were given a deadline and you failed to meet that deadline. What did you do? Most candidates don't know what to do. And in my books, one of my books, we talk about STAR, which is situation, task, action, result. You give a situation, what task were you assigned to, what did you do, and what was the result? So that's what you call competency behavioral questions. But candidates I've met, they are not familiar with this competency, which now prepared me to put them in each of my books.
Yeah, that's some amazing feedback there. I know that there'd be a lot of great content in these books, and I'm going to be sharing links back to Ernest's books in a short while. Now, Ernest, when people want to work with you, what's the process that they have to go through?
First and foremost, they send me their CV or job description, the post you're applying for. Then they book through my website, cvinterviewservices.com. On my website, we have a range of services. It could be 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Whatever kind of interview, it could be video, face-to-face. They have to select what kind of interview. And prior to the interview, which is, for instance, they have an interview on Monday. So I call them on Saturday to recap on what we've discussed.
And you mentioned that you have a pre-interview meeting the day before, and that can take up to an hour. Is that normal for it to take so long?
No, just a brief, about 20 or 30 minutes, just to recap what we've done during the interview coaching session.
This service is obviously very powerful. It's obviously getting results. So again, if you could just share with the My Future Business audience where they can find you.
They can find me on my website, cvinterviewservices.com. I have my email address and my contact number. So if they want to get my books, they can go to amazon.co.uk or amazon.com.
Everybody who's listening to the My Future Business show today, this has been a wonderful insight into the skill of being prepared for an interview. And there are 3 other books that Ernest has on his bestseller list. Ernest, it's been an absolute treat spending some time with you on the My Future Business show today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for being a guest on your podcast. Very much appreciated.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the call, then make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. And if you're looking for solutions that will help grow your business, then visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.